Hey guys, just want to welcome you to my my little TV show that I'm trying to do myself for my YouTube channel. And as most of you know, it's called I'm Just a Guy from Nowhere, because that's pretty much what I am. Two things I want to talk to you about today. The first thing I want to discuss is the thing that we're doing with tracking Big Bull. All right. As most of you know, we've been tracking Big Bull for over a year now, okay? And there's been certain things that we found in over a year to let us know that he's actually up in the area that I've been researching. We found down trees. We found where something large has come down the side of the mountain, which pretty much indicates it's him, because I know what I'm looking for. And then also there was the 17.5-inch track that we found the other day. I've already showed that to y'all, so you know there's no backstory to it. You know what I found and everything about it. So, and also just want to let you know that after this video right here, pretty much everything I do, unless my partner in crime wants to come out here and help me with the camera work, everything's going to be done with pretty much a solo quest, just me and my selfie stick. But just want to let you know that be tracking Big Bull from here on out. Try my best to get close to him, and hopefully, you know, we'll just see what happens. But with that said, I have a story that was brought to my attention. Okay, now this story happened here in the Uwharrie National Forest. But before I even get into that story, I just want to let y'all know, you know, that what you're seeing right now is reality. Okay, we're not in a sound stage. You know, this ain't faked. We don't have a camera crew with us. You know, what you see is what we're doing live. We're not live, but on video right now. Okay. Again, I'm just letting you know, letting you see, you know, like I said, this is reality. You know, this is the real world. We're not in a sound stage. We don't have a camera crew. This is it. So, and that's the way it's going to be. But again, the story that's coming out of Uwharrie, this happened between 1930 and 1940, all right? I don't know if any of y'all's ever heard the encounters of missing 411, where people just vanish, you know, men, women, children, they just vanish. Sometimes they find them, sometimes they don't, but a lot of them are never found, okay? I've always thought that was interesting, okay? But I came across a story. Well, actually, a gentleman had brought this to my attention, and I'd done some research on it, and this is how it goes, all right? Back between the 30s and the 40s, okay, a little 5-year-old girl went missing in the Uwharrie National Forest. And to this day, she has never, ever been found. Nothing. She just vanished. But there's a catch to it, okay? It wasn't like she was out in the woods walking around like some people are, and they're gone, okay? This little girl was taken out of her farmhouse, all right? So here's how the story goes, okay? Back between the 30s and the 40s, here in the Uwharrie National Forest, you know, you didn't have none of these side roads, all these paved roads. It was nothing but woods, right? Nothing but forest, and every once in a while you might have a trail or some dirt roads, okay? The story goes that back then, long before Roger Patterson ever caught Patty, you know, in '67, that creature down here was known as the wild man of the forest. That's what they called him, all right? He was described as being anywhere from 7 foot to 7'5", or just a little taller. He was completely covered in hair, all right? Now, I cannot say if it was black hair or brown hair. All I know was that the creature was described as being hairy from head to toe. And what I think is interesting is that a couple of the encounters or the sightings to this creature was not only was he covered in hair, he had a big beard, all right? And that's interesting. That's interesting, because every time I hear something new about this creature, it's just, ooh, I love it, I really do. But the fact that he had that big beard is really interesting, because I've heard reports of what I call the old man of the forest. There are some reports that indicate that he looks to have a beard. I'm not saying it's the same creature because that's the 30s. You know, this is 2020. Anyway, for years that creature was seen, all right? And back then, there were people who told other people, you know, don't let your children go out in the forest at night. Don't let your children wander off because this creature will take them, all right? And that's exactly what happened to this 5-year-old girl. As the story goes, she was laying in her bed one night, all right? The dead of night, her father, okay, heard her scream, okay? The father and the mother jump up, right? They run into the bedroom. Now, the thing about that is, again, it was nothing but forest, okay? The house that they were in was like an old cabin / farmhouse. It was set way back up in the mountains, up on the mountain range, which is, it's a few miles from here, okay? I know that for a fact, okay? But again, an old looking farmhouse, all right? Well, the mom and the dad hear the girl scream. They run into the girl's bedroom, all right? When they go in there, the little girl is gone, okay? But they noticed that the window, which has like an old looking screen, okay? Looks like something, from what I was told and from what I found out, looks like something split the screen straight down, and then it grabbed it and it ripped the screen open, okay? Now, from my understanding, that once it ripped that screen open, there was some fur from the creature's hand found on the screen itself, okay? Now, again, it takes hands to rip a screen open. And from the description that I found out, the way it was described, said it was pulled back just like a bunch of curtains would be. They said, but it took a lot of strength to rip that thing open like that, okay? Again, the 5-year-old girl is gone, all right? So, they run out of the house. You know, I guess he's got his lantern or whatever he's looking at the ground with, right? He's looking at the ground, and they find 4-toed tracks. Not 5, but tracks consisting of 4 toes and nothing else, all right? And there was multiple tracks, not 1 and not 2, multiple tracks, all right? Now, here's where it gets interesting, like it ain't already interesting anyway. But here's where it gets interesting, okay? They go to town, contact whoever they need to do, right? Now, again, they're back up in the forest. This ain't like you can just walk down the road and say, hey, you know, I need help. They had to go get people, right? So when the next morning came, they get a search party up, right? Okay? They searched for days and days and days for this 5-year-old girl, okay? Now, as they were searching, they were finding these 4-toed tracks. Multiple tracks again, not 1 or 2, multiple tracks. They went from the house off into the forest, and then they went up the mountain range, all right? Now, they just didn't go in the woods and disappear, all right? They went up into the mountain range. The way that it goes was they was able to actually track that creature's footprints all the way up into the top of the mountain range where it got real, real rocky, okay? Almost to the point where they really couldn't go no further back in them days, okay? So it gets real rocky up in that area, all right? But when it got into the rocky area, they couldn't find no more tracks because the ground was so hard, he wasn't leaving prints anywhere. So it was pretty much they just come to a dead stop, a dead standstill. What do we do? You know, he didn't go in the trees. Where did he go? Where did he take this child? That's the question, right? So they said that they believed this creature, okay, was living in a big cave that was up on top of that mountain range somewhere, which is, you know, several miles from here. And I'm gonna try to find that area. And if I do, I'll do another video. But anyway, they said they believed he went and was living inside that cave, okay? Now, my thing is, to this day, that 5-year-old girl has never been found, all right? I don't know her name. I wish I did. I would love to tell it to you, but I don't know her name. I just know the facts that I've been told and the stuff that I've researched and what I found out, okay? There's only just a little bit of the story to it, but it's enough for me to actually be able to do a video and share this with you, okay? But again, my thing is, you know, I've heard people talk about, especially I've heard Indians, Native Americans talk about this. They say, you know, don't let your children go into the woods because these creatures, some are not aggressive, but these things, they're not teddy bears. You know, some people say, oh, they won't ever hurt you. They won't do this, that, and the other. No. You know, again, this is not a teddy bear. These things will get aggressive, and push come to shove, things happen. But my thing is, why'd he take that little girl? You know, what was it about that little 5-year-old girl that he felt the need to take her? And again, 4-toe tracks, all right? Now, the tracks that I found back over there where we found that little baby shoe, that was 4-toe tracks. Now, I'm not saying that's the same creature, because I think that that could be the old man of the forest. And again, the old man of the forest has been seen in different descriptions with a beard. I've never seen him, so I can't tell you that. When Sam saw him, Sam didn't say nothing about a beard, but it was a quick little glance too, so he didn't really get a good look at him, but he saw him, okay? But again, the old man of the forest, possibly a 4-toe track. Back in the 30s, into the 40s, a creature was seen walking the forest, known as the wild man of the woods, the wild man of the forest, completely covered in hair, looking to have a big beard, between black and brown looking, between 7 to 7'5", if not bigger. Said he was huge, and said the tracks they found were huge also. But again, they only had 4 toes. Now, could that wild man of the forest, since he only had 4 toes, could the old man of the forest now, could that be like his offspring? Hold on. There's nobody out here, guys. We're the only ones out here. I don't know if my cell phone picked that up, but we just heard like a big crash, something moving, but I don't see anything just yet. I was thinking if it was a big deer, I would have seen him running. All right, but anyway, what I was saying was, you know, could that creature that was back there in the 30s and 40s, could the old man of the forest be an offspring? You got a 4-toed track found between the 30s and the 40s and into the 50s from a creature known as the wild man of the forest, okay? Now here we fast forward 70 some, almost 80 some years later, and we have a creature out here that we call the old man of the forest. Possibly 4-toed creature. Possibly has a beard like that one did back in the 30s and 40s. Could be an offspring, okay? But the fact of the matter is, that creature took that 5-year-old girl, okay? Now, what he done with her, and again, hold on guys, keep hearing something moving over there. Like I said a while ago, you know, we're the only ones out here, and we just heard like a big crashing sound. I don't know if the cell phone picked that up, but we definitely heard something. I just heard something back over in there moving around. But like I said, if it was a big old deer or a buck, I should be able to see him. Okay. Anyway, we might have company. You never know. That's why we're out here, right? That's what we're hoping for. Anyway, like I was saying, Buzz, that, you know, why did he take that 5-year-old girl? What was the purpose of it? You know? Now, again, like I said, I've heard Native Americans talk about how they would snatch children up. And that one gentleman, his name's John, I cannot pronounce his name right, Binganigal. He's passed away now, okay? I know y'all know who he is. He talked about a certain area where they had a female Bigfoot, and they would warn people, don't let your children go into the forest, because she would come and take the children, right? She would snatch them up and she would eat them. You know, she was eating the children. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying that's what was told. Now, again, why'd he take her? What was his purpose? And to this day, from what I understand and what I've heard and what I've researched, all right, nothing has ever been found of her. No dress. They said because she was wearing her dress when she was in bed. I guess like a little nightgown or whatever, okay? No dress, no hair, no skeleton, no nothing. So either he took her up into that cave that he was staying at, or again, like I always say, he took her underground. But he took her for some reason, and she's never been found. So that's a story that I wanted to share with y'all, because when that was brought to my attention, that was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that actually happened down here. Because I know, I can't remember between the 80s and the 90s, I remember that there was a hiker who went missing. He was an older gentleman, and from what I understand and what I've found out, he was never found either. He just vanished, you know? He was gone, you know? Could a bear have got him? I don't know, but you would think that if a bear would have got him, or if a bear would have took this girl, okay, the bear would literally had to cut that screen and rip that screen open. You know, bears have claws. They don't have fingers and hands like we do, right? They have claws. There would have been rip marks tearing that screen apart, okay? There would have been bear tracks on the ground, all right? And that bear wouldn't have took her way off in. 10 to 1, that bear would have probably ate her or killed her right there, and there would have been blood everywhere. I don't care if the bear would have dragged her off for miles and miles. There would have been blood somewhere. But this creature tore that screen open like it was paper. It makes me wonder if he didn't rip it with his fingernails, because they said that's what it almost looked like. They said it didn't look like a blade. They said almost like jagged looking. So I'm thinking maybe a fingernail is what I'm thinking, all right? But again, it takes hands to pull the screen open, okay? And he just reached in there and snatched her, and I guess just as soon as he grabbed her is when she screamed, and he yanked her right out that window, and he was gone, took off with her. He didn't walk off. This thing ran with her, okay? Now again, why? Why would he want her? I mean, what was the purpose? And, you know, it makes me wonder, too, that, okay, you know, this just happened coincidence. It ain't like he was just walking through the forest and he saw that little farmhouse and went, hey, I just wonder what's in there. You know, let me just go look. No. This creature, this wild man of the forest back in the 30s and 40s here in the Uwharrie National Forest, okay, he was watching that little girl. He'd probably been watching her for days, and he knew where she was at. And it makes me wonder, because he knew exactly where to go to. Yeah, I hear something over there moving around again too. He knew exactly where she was at, all right? He had been watching her. So it makes me wonder if sometimes late at night, if he didn't actually go up to the window and he was peeking in like some people say that they're seen doing, right? I know that happens for a fact because that's what it did to my grandma, okay? And I've heard other reports through the years too of this happening. So obviously this creature had been basically watching her for a while. And then one day he just decided, hey, I'm gonna take her. And he did. And she's never been seen since. Nothing. No bones, no dress, no hair. She's gone. Okay. Now again, I find that interesting. I really do, because I love listening to Missing 411, and that's an interesting case. Now, like I said, that's the way things go, guys. You know, you got to know somebody to get a good story. You got to know somebody to get some good facts. You got to know older people. You can't know this younger generation don't know jack about any of this. They don't know what's going on when it comes to Bigfoot. You know, they just run around here in the woods just taking pictures and screaming holler. They don't know the true story behind this legend. Again, this creature is not a teddy bear, all right? This is not a bear. This is not a teddy bear. This ain't no little cute little dog or puppy you can walk up and pet, all right? These creatures are aggressive, and they can get aggressive. Now, I'm not saying that they all eat humans, and I'm not saying that they all snatch children, okay? But I just wonder, he took that child between the 30s and 40s. It just makes me wonder, like, how many other children had gone missing in the woods, because the report was they were telling people this was going on this has been going on for a while. They were reporting and telling people, keep your kids out of the forest because something is taking children, all right? Now, like I said, I don't know how many he took. Can you just imagine, though? If we could go back in time, let's just say if we could go back in the 30s and 40s, and I had the technology I do right now and the research that I could do right now, we could very possibly maybe have actually tracked this creature down and maybe went further than they could have, you know? And we could have maybe possibly saved that little girl's life. And then again, you know, maybe we couldn't. But it happened, and that's the story, okay? But I wanted to share that with y'all. I find it interesting, I really do. And if I can actually find out the actual territory to where that farmhouse was, trust me, I'm gonna get back in there and we're gonna look and we're gonna research. But again, that was between 30 and 40, okay? 4-toed track, over 7.5 foot tall, sometimes reported. Big, covered in dark black or brown hair, and reported to have a beard, a freaking beard, all right? A beard. Which I find, again, is interesting because, like I said, the old man of the forest has been seen reported with a beard and 4 toes. All right. But again, I just wanted to share that with y'all. I think it's a really cool story, an interesting story. And again, I appreciate and thank all my followers. I hope you like what I do. But again, after this video, what I'm gonna be doing is we're going to be tracking Big Bull. And if I come across any other stories, hey, I'll be glad to let you know, because I love talking to it. I love talking to you people about it because I love talking about Bigfoot. I love talking about Bigfoot. But that's the thing, okay? We're talking about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Skookum, whatever. Skookum means mountain devil, if you don't know that, all right? Now, back in the 30s and 40s, here in the Uwharrie National Forest, they didn't call him Bigfoot. They didn't call him Sasquatch. They didn't call him Omaha. They called him the wild man of the woods and the wild man of the forest, all right? So, but again, the next video is going on out. We're gonna be tracking Big Bull. You're gonna see what I'm doing, where I'm going. You'll be seeing my research, how we're doing this and what we're finding. It's gonna be my own little show from here on out. Sometimes my partner in crime will be my camera person, but a lot of this will be done solo. But again, I just wanted to share that story with y'all because I think that's a really cool story. I don't get a lot of reports about this. And in the almost 13 years of doing my research, other than hearing about the old man who went missing, and again, he's never been found, this is one of the coolest stories I think I've heard from this area. And again, we're ruling out a bear. It wasn't a bear, okay? And one thing I don't know if you people know, you know, I'm not a survivalist. I don't train people how to survive in the woods. I'd love to be able to do that, but I don't do that. Do you know the difference between a grizzly bear and a black bear? Now, this is what I've heard over the years. A grizzly bear, if he sees you and he's coming towards you, it's because you're inside his territory. If a black bear is coming towards you, he's coming to eat you. Now, That's what I hear. You can play dead with a grizzly bear and he'll just smack you around thinking you're dead and leave. A black bear, you can play dead all day long, but when he gets there, he's gonna go ahead and finish it for you. So black bear will eat you, okay? But again, I hope you enjoyed that story. A little 5-year-old girl got missing. And this didn't take place in California, New Mexico, Canada, Washington State, Oregon. This took place. I don't know what that was, but that was a big one there. Anyway, what I was saying was this didn't take place in the other state. This took place right here in the Uwharrie National Forest, all right? Which is very, very cool because this is my research area. But on that note, I guess I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will talk to you guys and gals later, and I'm gonna go over that way and see if we see anything since we're hearing all this noise. But I hope you enjoyed that story, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.